I just completed my first observation for my observing video that is required to submit for Lamar University. I observed a colleague's classroom that is a social studies teacher, and they were completing an assignment on the legislative branch, which is very relevant to today's society because they're doing an assignment that dealt with campaign finance and basically where the money comes from. So it was very important, and it seemed the students were very engaged. It seemed the students had an interest in what was going on. The students were on computers. The students were able to work individually. After a few minutes, they were able to work in a group. So all the students remained on task regardless if they're working in a group or working individually. So it was good to see that the teacher had complete control of the classroom. The students were not afraid to ask questions of the teacher, and the teacher would help them out, but he would not give them the answers, which was very good because he wanted the students to be able to search the website, which was opensecrets.org, that allowed the students to be able to search the answer and not have the teacher just give them the answer, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of the whole assignment, because the teacher wanted the students to be able to look up the information and find the information for themselves. And there were a couple of students that had questions, and they were not afraid to get to the teacher and ask that question, and the teacher would help them out. Like I said, when I walked in the classroom, there were 19 students, so a relatively small class for this school. Normally, students are 19 to 25, so it's a pretty small class. So in the class, I counted, there were 7 black males, there were 3 black females, there were 5 white females, there were 3 white males, and there was 1 Hispanic male. And they were in their seating chart arranged throughout the classroom. I did not notice any discrimination, anything of that sort. The assignment asked to look for multicultural awareness, look for gender diversity, and you can definitely tell that no one group or no gender felt discriminated by a teacher, because they all were doing the assignment, they all had high expectations, and they all were able to complete the assignment in an appropriate amount of time. I'm not sure everybody got done today, but I think the assignment was a little bit longer than it would be today, as I'm sure they'll just finish that tomorrow. When I walked in, the objective was clearly posted on the board, and it was relevant to what was going on in that class today, which is very important. As I mentioned earlier, the teacher was explaining the directions as I walked in. The teacher explained them thoroughly. That's why the whole time I was in there, only 4 or 5 students went up to ask questions. That was just because they couldn't find something on the website. It wasn't because they had an issue getting to the website or issue understanding the assignment. It was a question about a certain aspect of the assignment, which is very good to see. Like I said, all students treated equally. I did not see that any students felt they were being discriminated against. They did not seem like they were on edge. The stress level was super low in the classroom, and it seemed like the students really respected the teacher, and the teacher treated the students like young adults, which is what a lot of students like to be treated like. They want to be, they're in high school now, so they want to be treated more maturely than if they were in elementary school or middle school. So they are much more mature than they would be if they were at a younger age. So you got to kind of toe the line on that. You got to understand that the classroom is yours, but you also have to understand that students are not in middle school or elementary school anymore. So I think the teacher did a really good job of that, and he showed that these students were working and doing what they're supposed to do. Like I said, all students were on task. All students were able to complete the assignment. There were some technology issues, but I think the teacher dealt with appropriately. He would, instead of just turning the computer off and getting to the computer, the students would bring the computer up there, and he would be able to help them fix it. Normally it's just a technology issue that we tend to have here at this school. Sometimes the wireless does not connect to the wireless router in the room, So that's just an issue that the students don't know how to fix, but we've been trained as teachers to be able to fix that. So you could tell that he was up to date on what he was doing and just give an assignment just to do. I think the assignment was, like I said, was very relevant and very good to see that students are aware of what their politicians are spending and where they're getting their money from, because that's a very important issue in today's society. As I was observing, I was looking around the classroom, seeing all kind of different things. He had different quotes, some funny, some serious, and I think the kids liked that, kind of lighten the mood up a little bit. Had posters, had decorations. If you could see my video above my head, there were things hanging from the ceiling, which is a little project they did, and just little things like that just help make for a pleasant classroom environment. And I was watching the teacher, I was watching teachers' interactions, and like I said, the students did not have any issues talking to the teacher, being a part of the assignment, and asking questions if they felt like they needed to. As you could hear on the video, the students were very quiet, students were working, they were not loud, so the classroom management was very, very good, and they were able to complete the assignment and not be distracted by other students, which is a very big issue for some because they do not know how to work quietly, and he seemed to be able to do that and handle his classroom appropriately. That's the number one thing in a classroom, is making sure you have good classroom management and be able to see that the classroom is under control of the teacher and not the other way around. So if you let the students run the classroom, you're going to be in for a long day and a long year, and teaching might not be for you. So that's something that they have to do. The room was clean, organized. Like I said, all students were engaged. So overall, I felt like it was a very good observation. I was able to see that the teacher, like I said, had complete control of the classroom. He saw the students knew what the assignment was, students completed the assignment, and they did it in an orderly and timely fashion, which, in my opinion, is a very successful day in a classroom.